Thanksgiving's over with. What the hell we gonna do for the next month? Let me go and get synced in here real quick. That way I can see who all's here and greet them right. There's a little love right there. Good morning, fishing. Yeah, now shop till you drop. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Oh, good morning, Santee. Now we fart cranberries for a day or two. I didn't even bust into my cranberry sauce yesterday. Didn't even bust into it between the pies that mom and dad brought on Monday and what my buddy Mike brought over, uh, plus the apple mead, the brand new apple mead he made up that he brought over, the turkey, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, um, candied sweet potatoes, the gravy, the honey butter on the Hawaiian rolls. Yeah, would have been nice if, you know, folks didn't wait till 8 o'clock last night to show up after I put it all back in the fridge. But hey, it was time for round two at that time. So, good morning, Tony. How are you doing this morning, bud? Hope you guys all had an amazing Thanksgiving. I tried to put myself into a turkey coma yesterday. Um, no, actually, I had one little thin sliver of sugar cream pie right after I finished eating, and that is the only sweet that I had yesterday. My blood sugar was incredible when I went to bed last night. Believe it or not, though I formerly was a fat boy, I have a lot of self control around stuff. Uh, I was more into um, making dinner, working on dinner all day long, just to make everybody else happy. And you know, Grandma was happy. Y'all know she's 84 years old. She has got less time ahead than she has behind. So, you know, what I can do to make her Thanksgivings and Christmases and stuff, her birthdays and everything memorable for her, even though she only remembers them for 5 minutes. We do that thing. We do what we do for everybody else, not for ourselves. Hey, Jan, good morning. Ferris. That's probably Trina hiding there because, you know, chances are, well, I know, no, no, it's Friday. Thanksgiving was yesterday. I'm sure Kyle's at home. I'm sure, I'm sure, I'm sure Trina probably tied him up and wouldn't let him leave today because she wants a 4-day weekend with her man. Jeez. That, see? That told you. It's Kyle. Oh, you're both there. Cool. And that's what I was really kind of hoping for is you wouldn't have to go from filling your belly up with all those nummies yesterday to climbing up towers today. I mean, it's a good way to work off everything you put in your belly yesterday, but still, yeah. Oh, let me see here. Jan, Tony, Trina, Kyle. Nope, I got everybody. I'm caught up so far. I'm caught up so far. But yeah, like I said, I hope everybody had a real good turkey day yesterday. We were, Christ, oh my God. I started working at I started working at 8 o'clock yesterday morning, and I finished at 2 2:15 because I had aluminum foil over the top of the sweet potatoes, pulled them out of the oven, put them on the table, and then realized I forgot to take the foil off with the marshmallows on. So I had to carry it back over to the stove, pull the foil off, dump the marshmallows on. 15 minutes to melt them down and brown them up, and it was back on the table. So, but we had a pretty good crew here. It's a damn good thing I only know how to cook for an army because between me and Ash and Grandma and my buddy Mike and his girl and the mother-in-law and her male friend And then later on in the day was the stepson, or yeah, my stepson, his fiance, the baby. Nobody showed up to the door hungry that we didn't know, sadly. So as soon as this is over with, I'm getting out a couple Hawaiian rolls. I'm gonna heat me up a little bit of turkey, and I'm gonna make me a little turkey. It was another day here. Jay smoked the turkey breast. It was great, but I forgot to serve cranberry sauce. Yeah, I have. Steph got home last night about 20 minutes till 8. Or 20 minutes till 7. And she opened up the fridge. She goes, "You didn't open up your can of cranberry sauce." Like, why should I? I got that for any day of the week now, and it's chilled. We got too many pies in there to open another dessert. But man, I'll tell you what, making up that the honey butter for that turkey, and then I chopped the greenery off of a bunch of green onions, chopped it real fine, mixed it into the honey butter, and put it inside the turkey. And about every 40 minutes, pulled it out, got the little baster out, and I cut like 4 slits in the turkey in the skin, so I could slide the baster down inside it, hit all those little pockets with the melt honey butter and everything. The wife was afraid that it was going to come out like a sugar cured or a honey cured turkey. Nope, just a very very moist juicy bird is all it was. Could hardly taste the honey in it. Now, once the honey butter solidified and we were putting it on the Hawaiian rolls, then you could taste the honey. Poor guy, he smoked the turkey breast, put out the Christmas lights, put up the tree. He was pooped by the time we I done already told Ash that as soon as the live stream's over with, we are pulling out all the Christmas stuff. I'm going to get the living room rearranged, get the tree up, get the lights, what lights we can put outside. We're going to get them outside. And then that way, since Mom got called in to work early today, she had to be there at 8, which means she'll get off at 4 instead of getting off at 6. We have time. We'll have the tree up and ready to get it decorated, and then we'll be done with the holiday prep thing until it's time to start wrapping presents and shopping. Just the thought of it again this year is giving me an aneurysm. But yeah, I was whooped. I was whooped yesterday. I got up at, oh God, 4 something yesterday morning, constantly moving until, just after 2. I was ready to drop. I was ready to drop. Huh. So what everybody else do? What did you guys Santee, how did your I know you and I talked for a little bit yesterday morning. How was your drippy meat? Sorry, had to bring that up. We were comparing our turkey recipes and stuff yesterday morning, and he made a remark about our wives probably not liking us sitting around talking about our drippy meat. And I told him, I said, well, ever since Brokeback Mountain came out and stuff like that, when you get 2 cowboys sitting around talking about their drippy meat, it usually leads to a camping trip. So sat here and watched YouTube vids. Well, that's what I did in between putting the turkey in and having to put everything else in. Oh, I come to find out too, don't pay attention to those packages that the turkey comes in. Don't pay attention to them. They tell you, okay, if your bird weighs between this and this, it has to cook for this long. If it weighs between this and this, then it has to cook for this long. This was a 14 3/4 pound bird, and it was supposed to cook for 4 3/4 hours. And I set the timer for 4 3/4 hours, and I actually set it for 3 3/4 hours because that was the way it would go off and tell me, when to uncover the bird to brown it, and when to start putting everything else in. Since basically it all just needs to kind of warm up. And I kept, like I said, every 40 minutes I went back, I basted the bird again, and an hour before it was supposed to be done, the little turkey timer popped up on it, and I stuck the meat thermometer in it, and it was already to temperature. So I basically, just left it in there for like 20 minutes longer, enough to brown it, and then I pulled it out, stuck it up on top of the, I stuck it up on top of the stove, and I had both racks to finish cooking in the stove, and then about 15 minutes before we served it, I stuck it back in the oven again, covered, just to heat it back up. And so rule of thumb, 15 minutes roughly, 15 minutes per pound. But yeah, that damn thing, I couldn't believe it. That sucker popped up an hour before it was supposed to. I'm like, damn. Now we're going to have a dry bird, but I basted the hell out of that thing. Oh. Count me out of the camping trip. I don't blame you. I don't want to go camping either. When you're laying there at night and the man laying in the same tent with you starts singing "Hello" from Lionel Richie, that kind of ruins the whole idea of the camping trip. Is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. You're all I ever wanted, and my arms are open wide. Ours was so juicy. Oh my God, ours was too. Ours was too. I've got this beautiful it's an old hickory. It's an old antique old hickory knife, and I keep that puppy razor sharp. I mean, I could shave with this thing, and that's what I use to carve the turkeys and stuff like that. And boy, I'll tell you what, every swipe with that knife and juice just ran out of it. The skin had that perfect little slight sweetness to it, and it was just barely crispy. It was, oh my God, it's the best turkey I ever made. It's got to be the company. It's got to be the way they raise their turkeys. I've never had one that turned out so perfect. My ears would be ringing from the sudden eruption of gunfire. I'd be more worried about the kicking and screaming as the pillow is pressed firmly over their face. Camping is practicing to be homeless. Boy, I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you, Kyle. Or Trina, whoever the hell I'm talking to. The kind of camping I do, homeless people could only wish to be so lucky. If you could imagine what a wealthy person felt like 200 years ago, that's the kind of camping I do. fine pewter, cast iron. What a double-edged axe purpose. I need a double-edged axe. See on the news that Biden is going to attempt to ban assault rifles. Oh yeah. I kind of figured as much. It wasn't going to take long, even though the last two. Believe it or not, guys, I found out this a couple days ago. 2022, we have had 607 mass shootings. Now, understand a mass shooting is where 4 or more people's involved. We've had 607 this year, and less than half of them have had assault rifles contributing to them. The last two were both handguns. The one in Colorado and the one in Virginia were just simple handguns. They're still trying to figure out the one in Virginia, though. Night manager comes in, gets his whole crew together in the break room like they normally do. Hey there, guys, Christmas season's coming up. Let's get ready to start meeting and greeting with the customers and spending time and making everybody's holiday merry. Oh, and by the way, blah, 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 blah. Makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. So it just, I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah, exactly. Remove all the gang related stuff. Yeah. It's sad. It's sad the world has come to that. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even want to get on it. I don't want to think about it. You know, today is the 25th of November. We have got 31 days. 31 days left until Christmas. So I'm getting myself in that Christmas mode. I'm getting myself in that giving mode. I'm getting myself in that, you know, taking care of my own family and, caring about you guys and trying to take care of strangers this holiday. I'm not even going to think about it. I'm not even going to think about it. Too many times we get tied up in that other crazy shit that's happening in the world. Um, and see, I thought that too, Tony, when they said that the other day. That came from NBC News the morning the morning following the Virginia Walmart incident. They had, matter of fact, they gave that total 3 times during that news break. That everything that's happened so far this year totaled out to 607. Now, I only remember hearing about 20 of them, so I'd like to know where the rest of them are happening and why they aren't making the news. Or, you know, why that news agency don't have a YouTube channel, because that's the only way I get my news. I don't watch news on TV. I refuse to. Too damn depressing. Too damn depressing. I refuse to. I refuse to subscribe to the negative bullshit that happens in the world. I'm not this time of the year. Not I. But the Toys for Tots and Adopt a Family thing, it, it, it's going. It's moving along. We have brought in a little bit thus far. and I'm very, very humbled by everyone's um, kindness and the love and stuff like that. I actually just got done sending a message to Big Dolls TV on YouTube. They too are doing a Toys for Tots giveaway. And of course, I sent a message to East Idaho News. They do their Secret Santa thing every year. And I sent a message to Nate Eaton, who is the main guy in charge of it. Thanked him very much for the idea for doing the Secret Santa thing. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, and I've never been able to. And, it's much like I told my wife, we may not have a Yule log to piss on or a fireplace to throw it into, but by God, we can make somebody else happy. Then so be it. So be it. There are people out there worse than us. So, since Biden took office, there's been mass shooting this, mass shooting that, but now that is lame duck time. Yeah, well, and I really honestly think that uh, most of that, number that they gave is bullshit to try to get the public support behind banning automatic rifles and stuff. I kind of deep in my heart feel that's just the thing is that's just one more BS game. Oh well, we had 700 mass shootings by the end of the year. How many people out there aren't going to get to spend Christmas with their loved ones and stuff? But if we ban these and we band together, then we can do anything. I'm so blessed that Jay, Ashley, and I were together for Thanksgiving. We even got to FaceTime with Mike and his grandma. That's cool. That's cool. I wish everybody could have been here together, but having, spread out and stuff like that, it gave us more time last night to spend with the granddaughter. Stepson and his fiance brought her over. They had been at Little Steph's grandma's all day long, and she was tired. She was tired. They got here last night, right before Steph did, and I understand when I Steph being my wife, little Steph being Trevor's fiance. There's three Stephs in the family, and they're all close. They call themselves a triple threat, especially when they're out drinking together. But we have three Stephs. Trevor's mom, Trevor's fiance, and Trevor's cousin are all Stephanies. So, but when they got here last night, little Steph went straight into Ashlyn's bedroom, took the baby in there, and spent about an hour um, feeding her. But she was a grumpy grouch when she got here. So, and the little redneck does not like to wear sockies. She will kick them suckers off every time. See here. I love the whole we don't need these weapons of war, crown, or anything like the Second Amendment. Like I say. Now bear in mind, I do not own one of these types of guns. I believe in the rights to own them. I believe in the rights to own them. I believe in the rights to own them. The Second Amendment gives us the right to keep and bear arms. Keeping arm bears. Keeping bear arms. Um, but some people are going to say, well, that meant normal guns. Don't forget when that was written, all we had were single shot muskets. So you keep and bear your single shot muskets, not your weapons of war. Gun's a gun. Just because the just because the meaning changes Don't change the right. Yeah, yeah, that's how I feel about it too. That's how I feel about it. And like I said, we evolve. Did the founding fathers, when they started to develop and put these amendments on paper, did they not know that humans evolve? They lived by the Bible, for God's sakes. They know how people had changed since the biblical passages were written. They know people evolve. So if you're going to write these amendments down, and it means that we have equal to or superior to military weaponry that we should keep and bear to form our militias, I'm sure they knew somewhere in there that we were going to evolve, and as weapons evolved, our rights to own these weapons would also evolve. But regardless of what kind of gun they meant or what kind of weapon they meant, it says right there at the end of that amendment, shall not be infringed upon, which means regardless of what kind of weapon it is, we have the right to own it, and the governmental bodies shall not infringe upon that right. Hey, Camo Man, good to see you, brother. Their thoughts were pertaining to the security of freedom. Exactly. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving, Camo. Now that we're all sitting back and you know still trying to you know reap the pain of stuffing all that stuff into our bodily systems yesterday, and now expulsing it from our systems. I know that after eating again last night, it was murder getting to sleep. I can promise you that. I couldn't find a comfortable spot. And all the tryptophan in the world couldn't help me go to sleep. I chose to work. I choose to work all holidays. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Um, Holiday pay is hard to pass up, man, especially in these days. In this day and age, the price of everything has gone up, and you know, if you got things you yourself need, or you got a family to take care of, you work all that overtime, especially over that all that holiday time. You can. God knows it's going to come in handy somewhere down the line. I did not overindulge. Now, see, I didn't overindulge in any way, shape, or form. I had my little turkey, and I had my sweet taters, I had my mashed taters, I had my green bean casserole, had my honey rolls, had a little bit of gravy, turkey gravy on my taters and stuff. Had my stuffing, had my little sliver of pie, and I waited for 5 hours before I started to eat again. And the only bad thing was I made so much because I figured the kids would want to take stuff home. No, nope. Little Steph's grandma done the same thing. She made a buttload, and they had a back seat full of bags of Tupperware bowls and stuff full of food. So we have a fridge full again, especially after just cleaning the fridge out um, the day before yesterday. Now it's full again. My missus bought me takeout from the hospital. They offered takeout meals, which were surprisingly good. no family here in Kentucky. Double pay, security from the housemate. Or serenity from the housemate. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Oh. What part of Kentucky are you in, Camo, without going into too much detail? So it seems that many of the ladies that come in are out for Black Friday. Go figure. 54 years, I have never been out for a Black Friday. Never been out for a Black Friday. I mean, I just want to go out and film one. I just want to go out and film. But, it's not even the same anymore as it used to be. People don't go crashing into these stores and tripping over each other and stomping on one another to get. Nothing's that big anymore. I mean, I hear that, Aaron's and places like that are Circuit City. I hear they got some I hear they got some heller deals on televisions and electronics right now. Probably not as heller as they're going to be on Cyber Monday, but by Fort Knox. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were down around Louisville or not. I was talking to my partner 2 days ago, and we are right now, as long as we can get the investigation fund built up and get some money stowed away next spring, we are talking about going down to the Cincinnati area and hooking up with Jan and Jay, and there's a couple others down there we want to do an investigation or two with. We were talking about coming to Louisville and doing some investigations down that way. So, I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes and how the finances go. I can throw a rock and it'll land on Fort Knox. There you go. Set off those damn alarms. Those guys need a little exercise down there. And Louisville ain't really down. I used to live near Danville, Kentucky. Well, I'm used to down being East Central Tennessee too. So I mean, down for me is anywhere south of where I am. That's how I figure it out. Fort Duffield Civil War site, 20 minutes from Louisville. Very cool. Cool. That might be worth checking out too. Good morning, Squatch. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing better. Hope your voice is doing better. I seen you, was it earlier this week? Yeah, I think it was earlier this week. You and your co-host on your show, I noticed that you was barely talking and he was doing all the talking. So I can't blame you for that. I love the land and the part of Kentucky I was in. God, that was beautiful. Yeah. I love Kentucky. all the videos you see on my channel or in this area, I could take you to them. Well, and definitely, I already planned on if we do make it down that way, um, getting a hold of you and letting you know where we're going to be at, and that way we can hook up, have dinner, kind of maybe kind of make a game plan, checking a couple places out or something like that. Not enough to live there though. And that's one reason that I really like, that area, south of Crossville, Tennessee. Um, Rolling hills, lots of forests, a lot of Civil War trails going back to the mountains. Voorhees, what is up, brother? I uh, I seen you was live earlier. Went on there and sat for a few minutes, and you were quiet. I didn't know if you went to sleep in the middle of your stream or what. I seen a few people on there chatting, and it was like, well, I'll like it, and I'm gonna sneak out of here before I wake him up. You think you fell asleep? Yeah, you was quiet. So let me see here. General Patton Museum. It's a must see. Michigan INFA helped build Fort Duffield. Yeah, I heard that before. I've heard that before. I'll tell you what. Heard and read. I had heard it first and then turned around and researched it myself to find out the truth in it. Some nasty stuff about Patton, man. I heard Patton. I heard George S. was a dick. I guess he was in a. I guess he was visiting a field hospital at one time, and some soldier was laying there, and I mean they had him on a. He was sick. He was sick as hell. Patton asked the nurse what was wrong, and she said battle fatigue. His unit has been constantly moving from one location to another over the last month, and they have got no sleep. They've been under heavy fire. They've been this. He walked up and slapped the guy and told him he didn't have any honor. Slapped him across the face. Told him he didn't have any honor and he didn't deserve to be in the military. I'm like, holy shit. And just think, a decade ago they had these things called stress cards, where if you're at basic training and your drill sergeant starts to stress you out, you can hold this little red card up above your head, and they'll pull you out of the ranks and set you down on the sidelines and let you de-stress or send you to a counselor or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, where was that shit when I was in basic training? We got off the bus, we weren't even dressed yet, and our drill sergeant was telling us our mom and dads were finally getting that divorce that they've been wanting for years. And now that we're gone, our girlfriends were screwing our best friend. Our brother was hanging out, our little brothers were hanging out with the wrong crowd now because we weren't there to protect them. But that's only because they aren't all as strong as we are. When I was in Kentucky, they didn't say rolling hills, they said hills and hollers. Yeah, well, this is what getting all Yankee-fied does to you, moving up north. Let me see here. Hey, Drew. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Hey, Chris. Most definitely, man. It was a very filling experience, and we have a lot of leftovers to refill on today, tomorrow, next day. He survived all those wars, only to pass away from a injury, injury in a car accident. Go figure. That's preventing President Patton. Hey Ty, good to see you, bud. Hope you're feeling better today. Same type of topography to me, but no hollers in Missouri. I've only been through Missouri, and it was, geez, who criminy, 3 decades ago. So I don't even remember Missouri. I remember going through Missouri, um, southern tip of Missouri, because we took 70 out of Indianapolis, took 70 west, drove straight through St. Louis, and I wasn't even impressed. Yeah, I wasn't even impressed with the mighty Mississippi and those great big huge concrete walls that come up each side of it as you crossed it going into St. Louis. Yeah, now see, when I used to cross from Illinois into Iowa, um, that was the Mississippi. Go across that bridge out there on what is that, 90, and that was cool. That was cool. There was a couple times when I was escorting the oversized loads, we would cross the Mississippi, and they'd go on through Iowa. They didn't need an escort in Iowa. So I'd turn around just on the west side, and I'd come back and park right in a little park right there beside the Mississippi and just look at it. But I always enjoyed Kentucky. Love Tennessee. Love Tennessee. Yeah, but oh well. I was just in Missouri 20 minutes ago. What are you doing down in Missouri? What are you doing down in Missouri, young man? It's go west, young man, not go south. Black Friday shopping at Walmart. Not if someone paid me. I would go into film, and that's all I'd want to do. The southern half of Missouri is more like eastern Kentucky. So Tyler is one of those. Goes to the closest to me. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. You don't want to run into her scabby ass somewhere at Walmart and kind of ruin the whole Christmas spirit. One of them Black Friday shoppers. That's what you is. You one of them Black Friday shoppers. Me personally, I like to do my Christmas shopping online. Online has a bigger selection of stuff. 9 times out of 10, if you shop around, you get better deals. You know, that's the way I've always tried to do it in the past. But you know, since everything happened 6 years ago and kind of killed the whole, income thing. It kind of kills the whole Christmas shopping thing and stuff. So, you know, I just listen to everybody else's successes and tragedies when it comes to shopping. My Christmas shopping was done by May 1st. I don't want to run into her and land myself in a gray bar motel for 25 years. Hey, she's the one with the restraining order, not you. Technically, legally, once again, where Iowa seems to differ from every other state in the country, um, she's in Walmart and you go in Walmart, she has to leave Walmart. You're not the one with the restraining order against, or you're not the one with the restraining order against you, which means she can't be near you. Doesn't mean you can't be near her. So if you go and you see her, you can call the manager and you can tell the manager, hey, there's a restraining order against her. She can't be here while I'm here. And they'll go up and they'll tell her she has to leave. Well, and like I said, once again, that's how it is in the other 49 states. Iowa, on the other hand, likes to make their own laws with restraining orders and stuff. So, oh, you get her on camera sending people over to your house? Oh, you get her on camera driving by your house? Oh, she does this? Oh, she does that? Well, don't do it again, little girl. If you had a penis, you'd be in jail right now. One night of the year, you can box over a TV. But when I bought two TVs online, Walmart sent me four. Hey, I need one. I need one. We moved the TV from the bedroom out to the living room since we got the entertainment center when we kind of redone the living room to make it more under the age of 90-ish. And now our TV's going out. Half the screen is almost black and the other one is fine. And then we have a white line that goes about 3/4 the way up the screen, goes all the way across it, and everything below it just kind of blinks. So, yeah, we need one. So, there's nothing. I've even got the TV turned towards my recliner, and I have to sit on the edge of my seat and keep doing this to the TV to be able to read what's on it. Drew, if I saw her with Rooster in training, I've already been in FUFO kind of. Yeah, well, Just don't worry about her, dude. Just don't worry about her. Don't worry about her. I know me and you had a little bit of a conversation last night, and I'm not going to go into any detail on it because, that's our business. If you want to share it with everybody, you're more than welcome to, but, you are so much better off. You're so much better off. And people can't help but have a lasting bond when you spend years with somebody and you create a family with them and stuff. But you are so much better off, and you have so many more options out there now than what you did before. And, I don't think it's your stream appropriate. It really honestly isn't. But you have people that love you, you have people that care about you, you have people that want to care for you. You just got to pull your head out of your ass and let people do as they do. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Pull your head out your poop chute and let the people love you that want to. And you'll come to find out how much happier life is. To the point that I had to buy another. So people come in, they claimed all the TVs, and you had to go out and buy another one. So wait a second, we only had four. Why'd we give all four of them away? Well, don't forget what I told you yesterday, Ty. I built a family with my first wife. And when I was with her, I would have died for her without a second thought. But when she treated me the way she treated me, knowing we had children together, and I didn't do anything wrong, and she had proof I didn't do anything wrong. The only contact I want with her is her body and my front bumper. And that's it. Well, maybe the muffler, maybe a little bit of the rear axle. But other than that, you know, no contact. And for those of you that didn't know, tiny snippet of the story. Um, my first marriage, she was a very, very materialistic person. Her mom and dad, since we had bought an 1898 home, her mom and dad had told her that if she got rid of me, who was not in their class, that they would buy her all the antiques fitting that time period. So that's why I was a little bit less than their style of class. Of course, her mother, who has left this world now, she worked for food stamp office. Um, of course, at the end of the month, all the that was back when food stamps were in like the little books, and you had ones and fives and tens. And, you know, at the end of the month, when they tallied up how many food stamps they didn't give out that month that they still had in the office, the three girls in the office would divide them up, take them home. So here you have somebody making $50,000 a year that's bringing in you know $1,000, $2,000 in food stamps at the end of the month. Her dad owned his own business, so that's the kind of people that I thought I could have a relationship with. Then start caring for yourself. Good advice, Tony. Good advice. I care for you. Jan cares for you. Tony, in his own twisted way, cares for you. Okay, not very twisted. Tony tries to come off as a a piece of mahogany, where he's actually deep down inside his heart he's really a piece of soft pine. And yeah, we care for you. Care for yourself. You're an amazing person. No, I don't. Oh God, no, I don't. Hey, Justin, good to see you, bud. Hey, Jamie, good to see you. Hope you're doing good this morning. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed that honey butter yesterday. I was glad you got some use out of that recipe. I've been carrying that around inside my brain pan for years. I won't go out and buy honey butter. I got to make my own. As a matter of fact, I made, oh my God, I made 2 pounds of honey butter. Um, I made 1 pound day before yesterday, put it back in a margarine container, and stuck it in the freezer to freeze it back up. Then I put it in the fridge to soften it up so we could spread it on the Hawaiian rolls. And yesterday morning made another pound of it, and that's what I basted the turkey in and stuff. Haven't been awake long enough, and yes, I did. I love the honey butter. It went on everything, just how it's supposed to be. The only thing I used real butter on yet, just plain butter on, was the mashed taters. Of course, my wife did not like the mashed potatoes because I didn't take the skins off of them. I scrubbed them down and blended them up, but I blended them up so fine there wasn't a piece of skin in there no bigger than my pinky nail. But I keep telling her that the potato itself is nothing but starch and carbs. The skin of the potatoes where all the vitamins and stuff are at. So we'll see how long it is before she lets me make mashed potatoes anymore. Oh yeah, you don't like honey? Yeah, I make my own honey butter. I make my own cinnamon butter. I've made blueberry butter. Um, I've made strawberry butter. Finally chopped strawberries up, mixed it in with butter, reconstituted it, and I love it on like the English muffins or the bagels, just a plain bagel. I don't know everything bagels and stuff like that. Just the plain bagels, or I'll go out and buy like blueberry bagels, and I'll put like blueberry butter or make my own blueberry cream cheese and put it on there. It don't taste like honey. It's really good butter. Like yeah, it's like sweet butter, like, almost like Irish butter. It's almost like an Irish butter. It don't really taste like honey. And so that's what the wife thought was by me basting the turkey in honey butter, it was going to have that really, really sweet honey taste. And it didn't. She said she could barely taste a little bit of the sweetness in the skin, but the meat itself was just dripping with butter and juices and stuff. She said she loved it. Uh, I would I would have all those butters, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. When I have the stuff to make it, I make it like crazy. I almost wish I had a way to make it and ship it. We have guys here on YouTube that make their own barbecue sauces. They make their own hot sauces. They have stuff like that. My specialty is butter and cheese cream. So, no way the turkey had an awesome glaze. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She said she was really surprised. Now, my sweet potatoes, see, she likes to mash her sweet potatoes up and then mix in the brown sugar and everything. I leave mine whole. So that was the only other boo-hoo about it, was the fact that I left chunky sweet potatoes in the pan. I didn't mash them up with a fork before I mixed everything in them. But this is the first year that she's not helped make Thanksgiving dinner, and I did it all myself. And she has her way. She always does things. I have my way that I was always taught to do things. I have that southern influence of honey glazing and sugar glazing stuff, where up north here they like the hams are salt glazed and stuff. Down home they're honey glazed and sugar glazed. So probably why I was on cholesterol medicine, because of all the salt she puts in everything. I made candied sweet potatoes with honey butter. Oh, nice. Mashed sweet potatoes aren't too awful bad, but I like to cut my sweet potatoes up and eat them, not eat them like applesauce. There is Rusty, guys, already firing in. Look at him go already. No warning. Just there's a Rusty. 1783, Britain evacuates New York City, its last military position in the United States. The North and the South is really different, especially where food is concerned. 1792, Benjamin Banneker first publishes his Farmer's Almanac. 1817, final sword swallower in U.S. perform, or first, final, first. 1817, first sword swallower in U.S. performs. I'm not going to tell you where that wound up at, but I'll give you her initials. LL. Thank you, Linda, for over-exaggerating what our adult lives are going to be like. 1834, Delmonico's, one of New York's finest restaurants, provides a meal of soup, steak, coffee, and half a pie for 12 cents. 1863, Battle of Missionary Ridge, Tennessee. And before anybody asks, no, the military position while in that battle was not called the missionary position. Was not. I don't care what the books say. 1864, Confederate plot to burn New York City fails. Confederates got there, realized the place was on fire anyway, and walked away. 1864, Confederate retreat at Sandersville, Georgia. Hell, you're in Georgia. Where do you retreat to? Cuba? Glub, 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 glub. 1867, U.S. Congress commissions looks into impeachment of President Andrew Johnson. 1874, United States Greenback Party is established as a political party consisting primarily of farmers affected by the Panic of 1873. Well, isn't that special? Good morning, Freedom. Well, besides being slightly bloated from yesterday, doing great. Doing great. Looking forward to pulling out some more of them Hawaiian rolls today and putting some turkey on them. 1876, Indian Wars. In retaliation for American defeat at the Battle of the Little Bighorn, United States Army troops sack Chief Dull Knife's sleeping Cheyenne village. Oh yeah, I'm hoping you and your family had a good Thanksgiving yesterday. Everybody's belly got filled up. Everybody slept real good. Baking cookies for our Christmas exchange. Very cool. Very cool. 1894, Greenback Independent Party organizes in Indianapolis. Always cook, can't go wrong. I agree. Speaking of which, I got to get a hold of my mom and dad before mom heads back down to Tennessee. They're still in central Indiana at my sister's place. I got to get a hold of my mom and find out um, if she still has grandma's old cookie recipes. I'm in the mood for some ginger snaps and some Mexican wedding cakes. 1905, Telemco makes the first ever advertisement for a radio set by advertising an $8.50 set in the Scientific American, which claims to receive signals for up to 1 mile. 1907, Jules Massenet's opera Thais has its first American performance in New York. 1908, Dorando Pietri beats Johnny Hayes in Madison Square Garden Marathon by 60 yards. 1912, American College of Surgeons incorporates in Springfield, Illinois. Give me just a second, guys. I got to go make a run to the in-house. The coffee just caught up. Keep on going. I'll catch up. No, I won't. You guys can read. I just do it for the shits and giggles. I'll be right back. Unforgettable. That's what you are. My editor is broken. I can't seem to fix it. Oh no. That's bad. 1920 First Thanksgiving Parade, Philadelphia. Mom Squads, hope you're well. 1920 WTAW of College Station, Texas, broadcasts its first football play-by-play. 1940 Woody Woodpecker debuts with release of Walter Lance's Knock Knock. I remember Woody. God, I used to watch Woody Woodpecker when I was little. I just reinstalled it after stripping it, doing exactly the same thing. And you see, I've noticed, and I was trying to explain to Lisa um, the day before yesterday um, how to use the editor to edit her own videos to put them up on her channel. Because she started her channel here about 3 weeks ago, and she's not been able to upload anything. She's not been able to edit anything. And I was trying to explain to her that I've noticed of late a lot of my editing programs are not doing like they're supposed to do. And I've completely uninstalled them, stripped them out, and reinstalled them. And I'm having problems with them even. You'll be in the process of editing or doing some green screen stuff, and just all of a sudden the program shuts down or it locks up, or it's just, I don't know what's going on. I wish they'd upgrade some of the stuff or update it, but yeah, right. Wish in one hand, and You know how the rest of it goes. 1947, the first systematic Hollywood blacklist is instituted, denying employment to American entertainment professionals due to alleged communist ties or sympathies. 1948, 16-inch coastal guns removed from Fort Funston, San Francisco. 1948, King TV Channel 5 in Seattle, Washington begins broadcasting. This thing just doesn't work. It goes not responding. 2 minutes with every click. Wow. That's nuts. Who performed this next song? Mainly because no one else would do it. 1949, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer appears on music charts. Wow. Gene Autry. Gene Autry. Autry. Gene Autry. Autry. Gene Autry. Gene Autry. His name was Leroy the Redneck Reindeer. No, 1950. Tickets, please. Closes at Cornet Theater, New York City after 245 performances. 1951. 17 die in train crash in Woodstock, Alabama. There's a Woodstock, Alabama. 1953, Guys and Dolls closes at 46th Street Theater, New York City after 1,200 performances. Now that's a long-running show. (1955) Race segregation forbidden on trains and buses between U.S. states. It's a little bit of a step forward. (1957) U.S. President Dwight Eisenhower suffers a mild stroke, impairing his speech. Better than voting in a president that's already had a massive stroke and affected every other part of him. I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing, Mr. Biden. I love you. 1959, Once Upon a Mattress opens at every Red Roof Inn across America. Easy. At the Alban Theater, New York City, after 460 performances. Keyboard commands don't work at all. That is kind of weird. Wow. But then again, it's those kind of things that makes me still film and edit and encode and upload off this crappy outdated phone right here I'm talking to you on right now. 1960, Amos and Andy made its last broadcast on CBS radio. 1960, CBS ends last 4 radio soap operas: Moll Perkins, Right to Happiness, Young Dr. Malone, and Second Mrs. Burton, and cancels 4 other series. 1960, first atomic reactor for research and development, Richland, Washington. 1962, WBGA, now WMGC TV, Channel 34, in Binghamton, New York. First broadcast. 1963, JFK laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery. Oh, and for those of you that didn't know, I'm going to tell you about this, even though it has very little to do with, but it has something to do with this very last thing Rusty just said right here. Um, for those of you that have Netflix, there is a cartoon on Netflix right now called Inside Job. And Inside Job is an animated series about a secret government office. And this whole show is about, they take a very hilarious look at anything and everything conspiracy related. Bigfoot, UFOs, reptilians, the shooting of JFK, shadow governments. It is frickin' hilarious. My wife hates that kind of stuff. And she's sitting there watching this show and she's dying. Tears are running down her face at this stuff. If you get a chance and you have Netflix, check out a show called Inside Job. You won't be disappointed. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. If you want to laugh at stupidity at its finest, Inside Job is the place to go. I may just buy an editor program. This is total trash. 1973, U.S. cuts maximum speed limit out to 55 miles per hour. Energy conservation measure. It's a fanfic with HR diversity hires as main characters. There you go, 1976, New York Police Department Officer Robert Tornsney shoots unarmed youth Randolph Evans while answering response at youth's Brooklyn home. 1976, the band's farewell concert, San Francisco's Winterland Ballroom, San Francisco, California. Guest performers include Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, Van Morrison, and Ringo Starr. Howdy, Santee. Hope you're doing good this morning, sir. Hope you're enjoying a day at home where you don't got to fangle around with old people that just want to make you choke the living shit out of them. Hope everyone had a great Turkey Day. 1976, Viking 1 radio signals from Mars help prove the general theory of relativity. 1977, David Steed balanced stationary on a bike for 9 hours and 15 minutes. 1979, Pat Summerall and John Madden broadcast a game together for the first time, a pairing that lasts 22 years. Oh no, I have to choke people. Are you at work today? You didn't get your 4-day weekend? What kind of communist crap is that? You're in Arizona, man. For the love of God. You should have had a 4-day weekend. You should be sitting at home with your beautiful wife right now, trying to figure out what leftovers you're going to put together for lunch. You should be able to sit back in your studio and work on your video, for tomorrow. So I have really, so I can come up with like really, really cool um, comments about, you know. All right, let me see here. I wish busiest day in 1982, Minneapolis. Thanksgiving Day fire destroys an entire city block, including Northwestern National Bank building and the recently closed Donaldson's department store. Yeah, busiest day of the year. I forgot about that. I forgot you work in that retail. I come to you when I have, computer issues and stuff like that because of your knowledge on repairing the stuff. I don't even think of you as a salesperson. I think of you as a tech person. I'm sorry, bud. I saw that as balances on a stationary bike. I thought, so the hell what? Yeah, I started to say anybody that rides a stationary bike, yeah, balances. 1984, William Schroeder is second person to receive Jarvik 7 artificial heart. I'm hoping to host Arizona Ghostwriter soon, Drew. That will be a good show. That'll be a good show. We're still trying to talk, Bill Brazelton into showing up on my show. And, Ghost to Ghost PM, we deserve to be able to interview a ghost. He's just stubborn, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out somehow. If nothing else, um, maybe we can, record Bill answering some questions as I ask them. So, who knows? We'll figure it out. Let me see here. 1986, Iran-Contra affair erupts. President Reagan reveals secret arms deal. 1986, Ollie North, Secretary Fawn Hall, smuggles documents out of his office. 1988, Chuck Berry pays $250 fine to resolve New York City assault charges. 1988, U.S. and Soviet chess grandmasters Donaldson and Akhmalovskaya wed. 1988, widespread earthquake hits northeast U.S., Canada, no damage reported. I hope to be on soon. 1996, after 24 years, Disneyland Main Street electrical parade ends. Oh yeah, we'll figure it out. Put two brains like ours together, either we're going to jail or we're going to figure out our problems. So, I think our wives are probably most worried about us going to jail. We'll see. 1997, Seven's seventh studio album by Garth Brooks is released. Grammy Award Best Country Collaboration with Vocals, 1998. Billboard Album of the Year, 1998. 1997, U.S. telephone technician Richard Bliss arrested for spying in Russia. Yeah, just go camping. I think that's probably, after our conversation yesterday, that's probably going to be their biggest fear. Not us going to jail, us going camping. Let us pray. Omni Seminaro, Wawa. Omni Seminaro, Wawa. Well, guys, it was 52 degrees yesterday here in southwest Michigan. Today we have a high of 42. But the nice thing is there's no more snow in the forecast here for a while. We're going to be in the 40s and 50s for the next week. So, it's not going to be like balmy, hey, let's go lay out on the deck kind of weather. But almost all the snow that we got last week is gone, and we're going to stay, 15, 20, 25 degrees above freezing for at least the next foreseeable week. We'll see. Let me see here. I'm going to say how. 2014, Missouri Governor Jay Nixon orders hundreds more U.S. National Guard troops to the town of Ferguson to prevent the second night of rioting and looting. Evidently, he wasn't in here for the Brokeback camping bit earlier. Yeah, Santee probably had to leave, to be honest with you. So we talking about that Brokeback Mountain camping trip kind of thing. Hello, is it me you're looking for? And there's your recap. 2014 protests erupt across U.S. after a decision by Missouri grand jury not to bring charges against a white policeman who shot dead a black teenager. The black teenager was shot dead by the white police officer. Like that's anything out of the ordinary. 2014 U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel resigns, ending nearly 2 years in the Pentagon's top job. 2017 actress Naya Rivera arrested on domestic battery charge in Kanawha County, West Virginia. 2017 longest known frozen embryo to be successfully born is delivered in Tennessee. Emerin Gibson frozen 24 years ago. I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying a damn thing. 2018 historic North Californian campfire declared 100% contained with 85 dead, 249 missing, covering 153,000 acres with 14,000 homes burnt. 2020, the New York Times names its 25 greatest actors of the 21st century, with Denzel Washington being at number 1. He's done some pretty good stuff. He's done some pretty good stuff. I mean, I honestly think that my favorite will probably always be The Bone Collector that Denzel was in. I wish they would have followed the book a little closer because the book has got like, I think, 4 or 5 more cases that they had to solve to figure out who the Bone Collector was. So, but then again, that's why it took me 12 hours to read the book, and the movie was only 2 hours and 10 minutes long. Thank you, Rusty, for a very, very cool post Thanksgiving today in history. I figured there'd be like, you know, a lot more Thanksgiving stuff in there, like, you know, when Barney tried to eat the stoplight in New York City and died right there in the street, or some of those other catastrophes that have occurred during Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. It's really kind of funny. I was sitting there watching it yesterday while the turkey was cooking, and before I had to put anything else in, I was sitting there watching Macy's, and it hit me that I have been watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade for over half a century. It's like, dude, you are older than dirt, you dirty bastard. You need to come up with brand new Thanksgiving morning traditions and stop this madness. You don't like balloons anymore. Why in the hell are you sitting here watching this parade? It is Black Friday. It is Black Friday. You can say that. Okay, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Jay said he's going to listen to the stream on his way out this morning. It's an ugly day. I can't imagine going shopping on Black Friday, but to be a city or around a major city would just no, no, hell no, no. Morning, Jay. Hey, we were just talking about you. I'm just listening. I'll talk to you tonight. All right, bud. Sounds good. I haven't watched that for years. Dude, I always watch it. 54. Yesterday was the 54th Macy's Day Parade I have seen in my life. If it doesn't run all year round, take a break and watch something else. It's raining and he has a lot of deliveries. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm having a pink sale today for Mary Kay. Cool. That's awesome. You know, I watched previous. Really didn't recognize half the appointment that day as Ashley and Dan, who are characters, were. Oh, okay. 1997 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is one of the most infamous parades ever. Several balloons were either damaged or destroyed due to strong winds. There we go. Now we got a little Macy's tragedy going on. These intense winds caused the Cat in the Hat balloon to strike a lamp post, and part of the post crashed down on the head of a no takers yet. I'm waiting on the real dolls to go on sale. They aren't so far, not for me. Up for Jay didn't know who a lot of the characters were, so Ashley and I had to tell him. I recognized most of them. I mean, of course, you know, they come out with brand new balloons and stuff like that. Now, one of the really upsetting ones, one of the really upsetting ones, was the Native American float that came through about halfway, 2/3 way in the parade. Um, if you're gonna make an appearance in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and you own and print your own money, um, I think you could afford a little nicer float. Yeah, I was very disappointed in it. I mean, it was pretty. Don't get me wrong. It was pretty. But I mean, it was not everything that you would think it would be, especially at the end of Native American Indian Heritage Month. But who knows? They may have had access to the funds, but not had access to the help. Let me see here. Could you, on a train? Would you, should you on a, oh, you hit my wife. Did you notice that the balloons weren't fully inflated? Yeah, you could see wrinkles. You could see wrinkles. There were some of them that, some of them need some serious reconditioning. Let's just put it that way. But then again, I noticed that some of those balloons too have been in the Macy's Day Parade for a decade, a couple of them for almost 2 decades. So, as a matter of fact, there was one of them that I caught that they said that that balloon had debuted in the parade in like 2002. And here it is 22 years later, and that same poor balloon is still floating down. Like, wow. And the one that blew me away, the one that blew me away was the Toys R Us float. When our Toys R Us closed in South Bend, Indiana, they informed us that Toys R Us had sold out. Toys R Us were closing all over the world. There were not going to be any more Toys R Us. And then here's the Toys R Us float a year and a half later going in the Macy's parade. It's like, well, wait a second. If they went bankrupt and they sold out, what's your damn float doing in the Macy's parade? Yeah, sure, they weren't just old. Yeah, it was pretty, I heard that too. Toys R Us are in Macy's. Really? I did not know that. I did not know that. All I heard when they closed ours down and they were having, 75% off sale, 85% off sale, they uh they said, we asked how far they were going to go, and they said if they got to start giving the shit away because there's no place to send it back to. Toys R Us was going out of business, and they were told to sell everything, which I'm sure a lot of collectors of Star Wars and stuff like that really love because, they were giving away those toys, for a tenth of what they normally cost. And they were selling all the displays and everything. So people who were collecting all those specialty things like the Star Wars toys and stuff like that made out like bandits. Man, I wish I still had the Star Wars toys my dog ate. I bet that I bet that I would not venture to say that dog probably ate $10,000 in Star Wars toys. Of course, it was like, $25 back then, but for what a lot of those toys are going for today, I know for a fact that my Boba Fett that my dog ate, since I had the Boba Fett that actually had the rocket that launched, there was only like 200 of those sold. It was a prototype toy that they sold out. Um, but yeah, the dog ate one of those, and I seen one of those on Pawn Stars go for $500. Said it was worth more if it was still in the package. The partners also announced plans then to open Toys R Us shops and Macy's stores in time for the 2022 holiday season. The result of the initial online partnership were encouraging enough to convince Macy's CEO Jeanette and his team to go all in on the plan to open in-store toy shops October 17th, 2022. Wow, very cool. Very cool. We never had Toys R Us when I was growing up. We had Ben Franklin. No, not the founding father. There was a dime store chain called Ben Franklin's, and they used to have this enormous toy section. Of course, you know, it's by toy store standards these days, it was only about 1/100th the size of that. But, you know, it was like probably 15 or 20 racks of like really cool toys and stuff. You know, Kmart. We had Kmart. No Walmarts. There were no Walmarts. J.C. Penney's. We had J.C. Penney's. You know, back when everything was still lit by candlelight and we had to ride our dinosaur back and forth to the store. Actually, actually, it was the buzzing fluorescent bulbs, and we piled into the back of the Pinto station wagon, and that's how we did it. There were Walmarts in Missouri in 1975. We didn't see our first Walmart in central Indiana where I lived at. Now, there may have been some in Indianapolis and Fort Wayne, stuff like that. But where we lived at north of town, like 45 minutes or an hour, you didn't hear about those stores in Indianapolis and stuff. You know, we didn't get our very first Walmart where I lived at until 1989, maybe 1990. I predict future problems with my channel. Shh. Don't predict stuff like that. Have faith. Have faith. Your channel's going to be fine. There's not going to be any problems. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I promise. In New York, we had a place called Three Guys um, that had a huge toy section. And now they call it Five Guys, and they did away with the toys and brought in hamburgers. Best damn hamburgers around. Best damn hamburgers around. One thing I was referring to was in Perryville. Oh, okay. I've been using the remix feature for about 3 months and just got my first reaction from YouTube. Yeah, their fries are great too. It's probably one of the best jobs I ever had was working security on the Notre Dame campus at Five Guys Burger and Fries every Friday and Saturday night. I would sit in the dining room, or you know, I would occasionally walk outside and deal with some of the college kids. But every night when I got there, those boys had my two hamburgers with some sriracha mayonnaise and jalapenos and lettuce and onion, and they had me a bag of fries ready for me. They know their shit. Was removed for unspecified reasons, including possibly removal of the source video. Dang. Dude, you are having some issues with that stuff. I grew up in Sumnerville, New Jersey. In the 60s, we had an old Woolworth store complete with counter service. Dude, I remember Woolworth. I remember Woolworth. It's really a shame, you know. So many of those old places have closed down. They just kind of disappeared into history. You know, kids these days, they don't even know what half those places are. I try to tell my daughter about Ben Franklin and Sears, things like that. She just looks at me like I'm handicapped. I mean, she's pretty much got me pegged, but still, you know, when the 14-year-old gives you that face, you know, it kind of hurts your feelings a little bit. I mean, we all expect it from our spouses when they give us "don't be a dork" look, but when your 14-year-old does it breaks your heart a little bit because you're supposed to be smarter than them, and they're looking at you like you're a special kind of special, aren't you, Dad? It's okay. Pat you on the head. New Jersey had a lot of five and dime stores. It's amazing how we grew up with those five and dime stores, but if you tried to get a kid to go into one of those things now to try to find a toy, they'd be lost. The hell am I supposed to do with this crap? You buy it for the dog to chew on. You should have seen the look my daughter gave me this morning when I told her when the stream was over, she was shutting all of her devices off and coming out of her room and helping me pull out all the Christmas stuff, get the living room moved around, get the tree up but not decorated, get all the lights hung up and stuff, and that way when Mom gets home tonight, we get to decorate the Christmas tree together. She looked at me like I was stupid. It's like, what do you mean devices go off? They have a power switch on them? Seriously? Where's it at? Yep. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, really. I mean, you can't buy anything for a dime anymore. Nothing's made in the U.S. The things that are made in the U.S., you know, they're so bloody expensive that a lot of people can't afford them. I told the wife again this year I wanted one of those really, really cool, loud Christmas suits. You know, the ones you see at like Walmart and stuff that have got like, you know, candy canes all over them or Christmas trees all over them or something like that. And, you know, once again, much like for the last 3 years, she laughed hysterically at me and told me that not with her money. So, of course, I wouldn't mind. I would gladly give up the Christmas suit for an actual Santa suit. But yeah, you know, those things tend to get expensive. Speaking of which, we're coming back into that season now where we're going to be seeing them regular ho ho visits on the videos and stuff. I love it. I love doing it. I can make people laugh when I do my different stuff. I love making people laugh. You guys are worth it. I'll play the fool for you. I don't care. I have so much fun doing that. I try to purchase made in America, but it's very difficult. It really honestly is. It really honestly is. It's very difficult to find stuff that's made in America that's affordable. I mean, the quality is there, but you just can't find it. Oh, I will, Santee. I'll never stop doing it. I'll never stop making. I like playing the fool to make people laugh. You know, when I was younger and didn't have the fear of breaking a hip or my wrist or something like that, you know, I was all about the pratfall. I was all about the, doing whatever it took to make a crowd of people laugh. Not to mention all the maids in America are not from America. That is very true as well. That is very true as well. We tried to get a maid in America. A maid. We tried to get a maid made in America at one point in time, and all she could do was carry around a feather duster, and she'd answer her phone, and go, "No, Mr. Drew not here. No, don't know when Mr. Drew be home." No, not really. There wasn't much Dolly about her. Oh, come on back, Pop. Man, we got less than 10 minutes left. I don't believe this crap. It certainly is not the world I grew up in. Amen to that, bud. Amen to that. All right, Santee. You have yourself a good day, bud. Please don't pick up a felony today, choking the life out of some old person. I can't figure out how to turn my computer on. I've been standing in line for 45 minutes and all I have is a computer question. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Time always flies when you're having fun, which is the main reason why it probably will not fly all day long, because digging through all these closets and pulling all this crap out just to put it up in a month and a week. Well, 2 months, yeah, month. Get it out the last week of November, put it up first week of January. Yeah, about month, month and a couple of weeks. I miss the America where you could let your children roam. Amen to that. Amen to that. When the sun came up, you went outside. You didn't come back home again until the street lights came on. Everyone have a good day. Alan out. All right, Rusty. You have a good day, bud. Have a nice weekend. If we don't see you tonight, um, take care of yourself. Hopefully, you guys are getting some warm weather out east. At least warmer than New York. Yeah, yeah, they would. They would. We would get up in the morning. We would eat breakfast, and we would head out the door. And the only time we'd come back in the house is when we had to grab lunch or use the bathroom, and then we were back out again. Half the time we'd come in, fix lunch, and go right back out. And we didn't come in until dark. Until we did well, we didn't have any street lights out in the country, so we would come back in when the coyotes started yipping. we'd some hell, there were sometimes my mom would fix dinner. We'd throw a blanket out in the backyard, or we'd even just sit at the table and watch the sun go down because we had nothing behind us but a field. Our nearest neighbor was a mile away. Our nearest woods was a mile away, so watching the sun go down was always pretty cool as a family. Um, you know, thank the Almighty Creator for another day we made it through without any major injuries or contusions or um, things like that. So, Tony, I lived so far out in the country, man. That's pretty much all you did. I don't know how many times. I don't know how many times we'd open up the back door, which our back door on our house had a big, huge, full length window in it. All you really had was the frame. Then we had the screen door on the outside you could see through. Don't know how many times mom and dad tried to leave for work in the morning. We had possums or raccoons in between the back door and the well house, which was halfway out the driveway where they parked at. I know a couple mornings dad tried to leave for work. There was like 8 deer. There was one of them right at the base of our steps, feeding in our yard where our lawn table and stuff was at. Um, he was always afraid. He said that buck is going to come right up through this door. I can see it now. I'm going to startle him. He's going to charge the door and come right into our kitchen. Never happened. Never happened. But even now, where they're at down there in Tennessee, mom will go out at like 5 o'clock in the morning to smoke a cigarette out in the carport, and she'll hear something, look to her left, and there'll be a deer standing there 5 foot away from her, just looking at her. We always had wildlife. We had deer, pheasant, coyotes. All the other wildlife was around, but no coyotes. We only a couple times did we see coyotes. You'd hear them. You'd hear them out yipping in the fields and stuff like that. But only a couple times did we ever have them up in the yard. Good morning, Masha. Good to see you this morning. Hope you're doing well. Just about that time. And then I got to start working. Yay! It's all worth it in the long run. It's all worth it. I mean, I love doing the Christmas thing, especially on here. It's going to be starting here in the next week or so, so I'll have fun with it. I can hear them in the hundreds here now. Well, between the full bloods and the dogs, the domesticated dogs that they don't kill, they just kind of bring them into the pack. There are hundreds of them. There's thousands of them out and around. Ashley and I are decorating the tree today. Yeah, that's what we're going to do tonight. Ash and I are going to spend it. All right, Tony. You take care of yourself, bud. Have a good day, and we'll catch you later, buddy. But yeah, that's what I said earlier. Ash and I are going to pull everything out today. We're going to hang lights. We're going to get the tree itself set up. And then tonight, when Steph gets home, we're going to grab us a quick meal of leftovers, and it's going to be tree decorating. That is one tradition I will not break. So, but all right, guys, it is that time. You know, I get to be like a fat Santa, and that ain't going to work. I get to be like a fat baby and head out. Get to be like a tree and leaf. Get to be like a bunch of reindeer and get the flock out of here. So, get the herd. out of here. Are are flying reindeer a flock or a herd? I don't know. But anyway, I'm out of here. I got stuff to do. So until tonight, y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. We do. We'll catch you guys tonight. Have a good day.